Alright, welcome back to day 3 of my $100,000 November challenge. My challenge for everyone who's new on this channel, my challenge is for this month to make $100,000 with profits with my trades. It doesn't look good at the moment, to be honest. $13,000 in a loss on BITGET, and on BYBIT I'm $57,000 and $9,000 in a loss. So basically I'm closer to $100,000 being in a loss than $100,000 in profits, but we have still 27 days left. And for everyone again who is new, the challenge is I want to make $100,000 profits, and how I'm doing it, I'm watching the Bitcoin price, because usually we see if Bitcoin is moving to the upside, if Bitcoin is bullish, then altcoins are following. And in this video we will cover Bitcoin and we will cover a potential altcoin season incoming. So let's start with Bitcoin here, and we see Bitcoin is breaking down, and the concern is that we are breaking down back in this channel, which would let the altcoins even more bleed and which would make my trades even more bleed. So on the other hand, on the big picture, it looks amazing. I mean, obviously, altcoins, everything is bleeding as Bitcoin is bleeding. But on the big picture, we see here, Bitcoin now has the same number of users as the internet did in 1997. Just imagine how early we are. At 1997, I was born in 90. How did you use in 97 the internet? I mean, only doctor and professors used maybe the internet in 97. I mean, just imagine how early we are. And I showed you also yesterday in Google Trends, we have Bitcoin is at the all-time low. Another thing which is very bullish, we see Bitcoin after every US election, we saw Bitcoin going parabolic. You see, this was the election in 2012. This was the election in 2016, Bitcoin went parabolic. This was the election in 2020, Bitcoin went parabolic. And the election is happening exactly in 1 day and 10 hours. And as it seems, Trump will win, and it should be something bullish. Even though I'm thinking it could be a sell the news event, because it's already priced in the market. But let's stay with the bullish news first here. There's a chart which compares Bitcoin with gold. And if we're watching on the big picture, it looks very similar. We have here resistance line. We're retesting the resistance line. Bitcoin retesting the all-time high resistance line. And if we compare to gold, gold retests several times the resistance line of the previous all-time high, and after it went parabolic. So we're expecting here Bitcoin to go parabolic in the near future. Also, we see here another chart which is also where we see here this bull flag which we are retesting, and the price target is here way over $100,000, as you all already know. Another chart showing us here where we compare 2014 till 2017. And we saw always after the halving, we had again a rejection on our all-time high. We got rejected, we saw a little bit dump, and then we saw a massive pump. And the same happening right now. We see here we have several times a rejection from our all-time high in 2021. We got rejected, we saw a fall down, and now there's expectation that we see massive breakout to the upside, even though, as I say the whole time, we could see still here some rejection to the downside before we move to the upside. But in the big picture, it looks extremely bullish. And we have also in 4 days the Fed meeting, and they're expecting to cut the rates by 99%. The probability is that they will cut the rates by 98.9% to 450 basis points, which is amazing bullish. Another chart is showing us in 2023, in November 2023, we had here this massive breakout to the upside, and will it happen in November 2024 the same or not? This is the question. But if history repeats, then we should see, and this is exactly also what I told you in my previous videos, that I'm expecting in the next weeks a massive huge bullish momentum, even though we could see some rejection down to 61,500, but this we will speak later in this video. As it right now in the immediate short term, it looks we have here reversal. One of the first support resistance lines is around 70k, and this also supports my theory, because let's take out the Fibonacci and watch where we are here, and we are retesting here perfectly perfectly after we broke down here 60, we're breaking 68k. The next big support would be here. The first one is here around 67k, which we're expecting to have, and the next one, the big Fibonacci 385 at 65, 63, and the biggest one is at 60k, the Fibonacci 0618. So these are our big support lines, and we could see very quick wick to 60k to liquidate all the shorts and then all the longs, and then another move to the upside where we see Bitcoin moving to 75k and so on. Another scenario is obviously that we move here to 65k and then moving to 65, first to 65k, then to 75k, and then a move down to 60k before we see another pump to the upside. Why 75k? Why am I speaking about 75k? Because here, let us quickly watch first the support levels of Bitcoin. And the big support levels, as you see it here, the most of the volume is lying exactly here at the 60k area, as you see it here. So 60k is a major support which we shouldn't break to the downside. In case we are breaking the 60k support, then we are moving down to the 54k area where we have still a big CME gap open. So this is important to watch. Another big one is at 65k, as you see it here. Another big chunk of volume is coming at 65k, as I told you, and right now we are at the small support here at 68k, which is not the biggest support, to be honest. But on the immediate short-term picture, we have here, as we cool down we formed a massive bullish divergence on the 4-hourly, which could work out on Monday. We could see, as we saw on weekend, we saw weekend dump. Usually we see on the weekdays, on Monday, a pump. So we have here a massive bullish divergence formed. The RSI, the price is going up, as you see it here, but the RSI is going heavily down. So this is a massive bullish divergence on the 1-hourly, and the same massive bullish divergence we have apparently also on the 1-hourly, which speaks for a breakout to the upside tomorrow on Monday. You see here the price is going up while the RSI is going heavily down. It's even bigger. It's even, wow, this bullish divergence is even bigger. It goes down till here to 2023 October. So this is massive. Also, what is nice to see is that the open interest went heavily yesterday down with this dump. So we cooling down. The open interest in the immediate short term cooled down to 200k, as you see it here. And usually what we saw here when we've been at this level here, we saw a pump happening in the Bitcoin price. And the nice news is, if we are zooming out and watching on the 4-hourly, as I explained also yesterday, on the 4-hourly, the price and the open interest starts to rise. And if the price and open interest parallel start to rise, it means the market participator are interested in the market betting on the upside of the market. This is why the open interest and the price go up. So this looks bullish. And also we have here the total crypto market cap, which cooled yesterday heavily down. So there is room to go to the upside. We can see here in the total crypto market potentially move of 5%, which would bring Bitcoin up to 75k at least. And we have here the liquidity going up to 75k, which I expecting could happen on Monday before we see a liquidation of all the longs, because the higher we go, if we are breaking the all-time high at 75k, the all-time high at 73k, but if we're breaking up to 75k, imagine how many longs will be open. So the market maker will liquidate all the longs down below here. You see all the liquidity which goes down here to 65k or even lower. You see we have billions here down at 64, 65k, which they will liquidate after the price hits 75, 76k. This is what I'm expecting. Again, in case we see 75k, Bitcoin at 75k breaking all-time high, it could be so bullish for altcoins, because we have here ETH versus Bitcoin, and we have here ascending falling wedge, and it's a bullish pattern. Usually it breaks to the upside, and if, as historically, if ETH outperformed Bitcoin, it means altcoin season. And we see also on the Bitcoin dominance chart, we have here falling wedge, which is a bullish pattern, but here on this chart, it's an inverted chart. You see here Bitcoin dominance at 60%, and it would mean Bitcoin dominance would go up and ETH would win against Bitcoin. So it means altcoins would take over the market as the Bitcoin dominance would go down to 40% or whatever. Also, another thing is, if we are watching the huge picture, after the halving, 212 days after the halving, the Bitcoin dominance, the meme coin dominance hit an all-time high exactly 212 days after the halving, and we are right now exactly 206 days after the halving. This is exactly which would help to reach my goal, make $100,000 profits with my trades, because I am in meme coins. I am long on meme coins. I am long on Pepper and I'm long on GME, which are heavily in a loss. But if this scenario will play out and we will see a massive altcoin season, especially meme coin season, this would help my trades and to reach my goal, especially as we saw in the last days, the meme coins and the last weeks meme coins cooled heavily down. And we will speak right now also about my meme coin Pepper. We see here it cooled down in the last weeks, last months heavily. I mean, we reached all-time high in May 2024. Since then we had a decline, and also the open interest hit an all-time low. And yesterday, not all-time low, but we cooled down heavily in the open interest. And we see here with yesterday's dump, we are near the levels where we see usually a pump happening. So we could see a little bit more dump happening on a Pepper, but we are definitely closer to the bottom of Pepper than to the top, which means we could see here a reversal in Pepper. And also we hit exactly our price target at 0.833. Why was 0.833 our price target? Because this is where the most of liquidity was. You see it here, they grabbed perfect liquidity, which was millions of dollars. This is only on BYBIT, which the market maker grabbed, and the liquidity is now here up. We have more liquidity at the upside than to the downside, which not means that we could see still more, a little bit more downside. But as I explained, I expect we are closer to the bottom than to the top. So we could see still here a little bit more downside. You see here liquidity goes down to 0.75. The next big chunk starts at 6.9 going down to 6.53. But right now, if Bitcoin is pumping and if the meme coin season hitting, I'm expecting here that we could see easily Pepper going up here to our price target at 1, or even here up to 1.1 or 1.2. This could be very bullish, because then my trades would look like in profits if we are going to 1.1. Again, I show you for everyone who didn't saw it, 0.012. I would exit my trade with 10k in profit, which would bring me closer to my target. I still expecting Bitcoin to dump, so still I could exit and could re-enter it. By the way, here for everyone who's new on this channel, last month I did 45k in profit, so $100,000 is not too greedy price or goal for this month. We have also here big support in the last days. We got, especially yesterday, but in the last weeks, you see here all the longs got liquidated on Pepper. We had massive long liquidations, but we didn't have massive short liquidations, as you see it here. So we got more longs liquidated, and it's time to liquidate all the shorts here. The big price levels also, as I showed you, it's so interesting, where the biggest liquidity lies is also where the biggest volume is lying. So it goes down below to 0.67 approximately. So the worst case where we could dump is 0.66, maybe even here wick down below to 5.8 as we saw it here, but the biggest support ending at 6.6, approximately 6.5. So we are right now hit the first big support where we could see, as I'm expecting, you see here, a lot of volume is coming in. So we could see right now from here a pump up to 1.1, where we have also a big resistance coming in, as we have here a lot of volume at 1 approximately coming in. So we could hit here 1 approximately, or maybe even a little bit higher before we are going down to 6, 7. It all depends obviously on Bitcoin. This is why we have closely to watch Bitcoin. Bratans, if you want, you can also join me on this journey. You can make a registration on BYBIT or on BITGET. BYBIT and BITGET are the BYBIT is number 3 world exchange on the derivatives. It's even a number 2 exchange. BITGET is right now number 4. It's competing always with OKX, so it's huge exchanges if you want. But that's, thank you everyone for watching. I kiss you and I see you later. Mwah.